welcome back.
Hello.
Today we are going to talk about some experiences. We have had a lot, but we have picked 3 of the weirdest ones. 3 of the weirdest motherfucking things that ever happened to us. So, right, let's start. What are we starting with? The teleporting junkie or the time we almost got kidnapped? Junkie. Last year for my birthday we stayed in Glasgow because I love Glasgow. Anyway, so we walked about at night because Glasgow's a nice city. Glenrothes is where we stay, is not. We can't walk about here at night. So we're just thundering about. It's about midnight, we're walking around the city centre and this guy, off his tits on something, starts chasing us. So we start running and he's screaming at us and we just keep running and we finally get away from him because he'd stopped like, I don't know, 2 streets behind. So yeah, he'd stopped and we were way ahead and then we looked around the corner and he was there. How did he get there?
We walked for like a bit as well. I think he asked us for something to start with and we were like, just keep your head down, Jimmy, just keep on walking.
Then he was like, hey, I'm talking to you, and then he just kept
Because he was
following.
from New York.
I'm talking to you. Hey.
We didn't open the door for the native New Yorker, that's what it was. Oh, kids, freeze.
But yeah, so we ran away and then
Like we turned the corner, he was there, so we traced back on our steps, went somewhere else, and then we saw that he'd kidnapped, well not kidnapped, but no, we walked like the back we were supposed to, and then he was there again, and it's like he had gotten a hold of somebody because he was talking to someone, and you could tell they were just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
yeah.
So we like, you saw him 3 times, but the first time there is no way he could have got where we were that quickly, especially being in front of us. There was no way he could have got there unless he fucking sprinted.
Or teleported.
Exact. And then the other bit, when we were walking back, there was no way he could have got there before us, beforehand. Do you want to really quickly talk about that guy when we were 13? Fearless Vampire Killers.
Oh yeah, he was totally a pedo. It took us years to realise.
And also he vanished.
he vanished.
Right, okay, so I can't exactly remember what happened.
Wait, but there used to be this kind of like, they were a local English band but they'd come to Scotland called Fearless Vampire Killers. They had like this big cult emo following. It was really fun to go and see them and stuff. So we were like 13 and we went to see them and we're standing in the line and this guy who must have been like early 20s, late teens at the most, he was a lot older than us, started talking to us. He was being very, very touchy, hand holding hands on shoulders and shit.
But we were 13 and we were like, yeah!
Yeah, we thought he was hot, so we just went with it. And then he disappeared mid-concert and we've never seen him again.
And we were trying to talk to people about him and they were like, you weren't talking to anyone. I was like,
they didn't see anything.
We were talking to this guy for like, I think we were at the concert way before it. It wasn't even a Fearless Vampire Killer concert. It was like Melanie Knox or something.
Oh, shit.
And like, everybody was there for Fearless Vampire Killers and then we left and then Kier was at the door and we all screamed at him and he just kind of hello, like, hello. But yeah, like, we were talking to him for like a good hour or something because we were there like really early. But like nobody could remember us talking to him. And nobody could remember, I think his name was Peter or something.
Yeah, it was.
And we were trying to find him and nobody, like,
no trace of him online, nothing.
Also, I don't think he needed tickets to be where we were, so he might have just snuck in. He might not even be there for the gig, he might have just known there was like going to be little kid. Wow.
Oh, we've come across some nonsense. The emo scene in the early 2010 was absolutely notorious for nonsense. Like the amount of stuff that happened at gigs we've both went to that years later you're like, oh, that wasn't quite right.
Yeah. Right, so the time we were almost kidnapped. Do you want to start it?
So, picture it. 2014, 15 or something, we're on a bus going to my house. So, anyway.
Do you want to mention you live in a really sketchy part as well?
I live in a really, really sketchy part of Scotland. Like, I don't know what goes on in my street, but something's going down.
Our house.
Anyway, so, we're on the bus, we're singing that Jones Barbecue and Foot.
Jones Barbecue and Foot! Repeatedly.
Annoying. Very annoying.
Yeah.
And this woman in front of us is like 50 or something. And she's like, oh, would you give me a hand off the bus with my bags? Red flag, don't ever do that.
Can I just interrupt you? She kept looking back at us and smiling at us the entire time.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if she knew the meme, but if you did, you're a bit old to know what memes are, but okay.
Anyway, so we helped her off the bus with her bags and we're like, okay, we'll just walk her to her door. She somehow got us in the flat
and then at her door, And then we were at her house, and then she was like, oh, everything here is like from a skip. These bags aren't even mine. There was just a woman, and I kind of just grabbed her bags and went, and we were just kind of like, and then you were screaming at me like, get the fuck out. And I was like at her door like,
we kept trying to think of an excuse to go, and I think finally one of us was like, we pretended to be sisters, and we were like, oh, mum will be expecting us, we have to go.
Yeah.
She would not let us out.
She wouldn't, and she was like, oh, do you want to come in and get like a cup of tea? But like her house was like, the wallpaper was falling off.
There was just something not right.
It didn't smell right.
No.
It was like, you didn't go in, but our house was like, not like there was stuff everywhere, but there was like, her couch was falling apart, things were falling apart.
Yeah.
The wall was falling apart.
And it wasn't just somebody that wanted company, there was like a bad feeling about
There was
it.
a really bad vibe, and I don't know how we got to her fucking door. Because it was like, we got off the bus, and she was like, oh, can you please help me? I think we said no, and she was like, oh, come on. So we helped her, and she was like, oh, can you help me? And I can't open my door. So we did that, and I got like, I think I got in one step in her house. And then the look on your face was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to get the funeral.
But like, you can be a nice person, just don't put yourself in danger in order to be nice, because we're a bit too nice.
Yeah, just don't go to the extent that you're in their house. Then she asked for, if she wanted like a cup of tea or something. She might have had no ill will by it.
Yeah.
But also the fact she stole the bags.
Yeah.
She said that everything in her house was from a skip.
We were like 14.
Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, that's a bit weird.
Bit weird.
But alright, do you want to kidnap a child as well and say it's yours? Like, nah. Okay.
What was the third thing? Oh, the fucking, right.
Right, I'm gonna start this one, right?
Yo!
There's a pizza place down where I live. We've never been there before. Every single motherfucking time we try something for the first time, doesn't fucking
Bad
go
shit
well.
happens.
Yeah, we watched Misfits for the first time, best friend died.
Yeah.
I tried fish for the first time, best friend died.
Yeah.
So it's not fucking funny, that's terrible. There's been other stuff too, but you know. So there's a pizza place down there, and we were like, we'll go get pizza. Originally you were supposed to go down on your own, and I don't know why. I think I wanted juice, but it was too hard to explain. So I was like, I'll come with you, I might as well go down there. And oh my god, am I glad I went with you. Oh Jesus. So I'll start the story because I went. Right, so basically there's a bus stop across from where the thing was. So I was sitting in the bus stop, this guy comes down, and then he goes, there's a hairdresser's in front of me. There's a hairdresser's, and then there's the pizza bit. The hairdresser's, he goes up the back, and they have chickens in the back. And then, kids.
Can you tell we're rural?
Yeah. Anyway, they have chickens in the back of the fucking hairdressers. For some fucking reason. And then he went up the back and like really rattled at the gate to try and get in. Like, I don't know what he was planning to do on those chickens, but I'm glad he didn't get in. So he tried to rattle that, then he came out. I think he walked down a bit, came back up, punched the window to the hairdressers. Luckily they had like double glazing, it didn't do anything. And I think he walked up, and I think he started like raging or something. So then I got scared. I ran right behind her in the thing, and I was like, I'm scared, I'm just gonna stay in here.
Yeah, because I was ordering the pizza, and she was like, somebody's trying to break into houses, and I was like, oh.
Oh yeah, because he came out of somebody's back garden for some fucking reason. And then I stood with her for a bit, and then he kind of sat down and laid on the floor.
For a while, we were standing outside of the pizza place waiting on the food because social distancing.
Yeah, and then somebody got out of their car. He must have noticed they didn't lock their door. He went in the car GTA style.
Started beeping the horn.
Thankfully he didn't fucking drive away. No. Oh my god. We're not even at the juiciest part of this story. But yeah, he got in the car and started beeping the horn. We should have told that woman.
Yeah.
Somebody should have told her. Somebody told me not to, and it's like, he was in your car. Anyway, then he got out the car, then some dude on their bike went past.
And he started chasing the guy, screaming at him.
The guy was completely oblivious.
He didn't even cycle faster, he was just like, oh, what a lovely day to be cycling.
And the guy was like chasing him up the fucking road, asking him if he had his money, which is like, no. And then, do you want to explain the next one?
So this guy, this fucking mate, there's like 5 people maybe outside of the pizza place. There's a couple beside us. There's a big Glaswegian guy who like, he comes in a bit later as well. But like,
no, she just bite.
But anyway, so this guy comes over to us, starts rattling us by the shoulders. She was just like paralyzed by fear, and I'm like, don't fucking touch me. Which like, I barely speak, so to be screaming at somebody was like, whoa.
Can I just say that like, she didn't only push him, but like the self like defense maneuver you pulled, you went in, he armed and out. But like,
I was ready to fight.
there was 4 of us. He shook like the 2 couple first and then us. And I was kind of just like, the thoughts going through my head was like, if I kill you right now, I'm gonna have some issues, so just stay completely still and maybe he won't see you. Maybe he'll walk back.
So then he done that. The big Glaswegian guy was like, if you touch one of those lassies again, I'ma break your neck. Beat it.
And without makeup, we look about 14.
We do.
Despite me just turning 22 today, I look about 14. So it's like, that. I think that Glaswegian guy thought we were like 14.
We're
so
very, very short as well.
yeah, so he must have been like... So, and then you want me to continue from here?
Yes.
Oh, he also called you like...
He called me cheeky for shoving him, like, don't touch me.
But like, the sheik was like, what you do the money?
I know, he was like 6 foot tall, I'm 5'3". He could have killed me.
It was insane. Plus he's dirty. So like,
Plus like, don't touch me.
COVID also.
Don't touch me ever.
Yeah, don't touch this bitch, we'll get you. So, I think then he starts like walking up because he's just been told off.
Yes.
But then there's like flats on the way up. He went into the other flats because a lot of them don't lock their doors for some fucking reason. Our door's broken. And then he came up and then walked into my fucking flat, which I was like, maybe it's not my flat. But then he came out and my stepdad came out and I was like, that boy is gonna die. And then he went into like, there's like a pharmacy shop and then like a little cafe. Sadly, may he rest in peace, the little window that he was, the window was not double glazing. This man had punched the fucking window
straight through. Window like, was gone.
Complete fucking gone. I should have took a picture of it.
Oh, you should have.
But there was a bunch of kids surrounding it afterwards.
So we didn't hear the thing. So he starts coming back down the street with blood dripping from his hands. And we were like, what? Where's the blood coming from? And like we were hiding behind a car at some point. Just,
yeah.
It was, oh.
Because it's like, I started walking up to see if he'd actually gone into the house. Because since he went in the car, I was like, my door's not locked. What if he goes like into my fucking house? And I'm like very paranoid about people touching my stuff. So it's like, no. But the stepdad chased him out and then he punched the window. And then he came, because like I saw him come back down and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go work for you guys.
And then I phoned the police and then he ran away.
Yeah. And then apparently he had a seizure. And I think he was autistic and had ADHD, but he'd also gotten drunk and took some kind of drug.
Not a good combo.
Yeah, that's why he was like that. I don't know if he's okay.
I hope so.
I think he's fine, but like he had some kind of seizure and then people were like trying to get him better, but also the fucking police, despite me quite literally like, technically I didn't see him break the window, but also the window wasn't broken when we went down there. 20-minute gap, right?
He was covered in blood.
20-minute gap. The window wasn't broken when we went down there, and then we saw everybody walk up and down the street because it's like we had perfect view. We saw people walking up and down the street, and then I saw him go in there, come down with blood in his hands. Like, of course he smashed the fucking window, but apparently that's not enough for the police because I didn't see his hand go through the fucking window. But he was there, and it wasn't smashed, and I explained that to the police. Like, I explained that like nobody else could have done it, but they won't charge him for it because they didn't physically see it. And it's like,
he did it.
It was him.
Everybody knows he did it.
Like, I saw him go in there, come out looking at his hand with blood on it, and then also there was a fucking blood trail from the window to where he was. It was obviously fucking him, but the police won't do him for it. Which has made me realise you can get away with quite literally anything as long as nobody fucking sees you.
Yeah. Well, I got a cough. I have another story. Okay, so.
I don't know about this one. I don't know about it.
Oh, but you will in a minute. 2018, right, we've just both turned 19, so we decide, we've never been on holiday together, we both really want to go to Manchester, let's go to Manchester for a week. We did that. Now, we've both been outside of Scotland, but we've never really been in a big city long term, so we didn't know what the crack was in a big city. Now you know.
Rise up! Get the lie!
So anyway, at this point in 2018, in big cities, the legal high spice was quite big, and it kind of turns you into a zombie a bit. So this guy's walking around, I don't know what street, there was trams and stuff, they would do, outside the Primark. If you're from Manchester, you know. But right, yeah. So this guy's walking about, kind of stumbling, hits his head and falls over. But we only witness him falling over. But there's also street preachers. So the street preachers grab this guy, start commanding that he comes back to life and not go into the light. They're like, let Jesus forgive you and come back, brother. And for a long time, we thought it was street theatre. We're from a small town. We didn't know what was going on. This went on for maybe 20 minutes before somebody like called an ambulance, and then the guy opened his eyes and the street preacher was like, oh hallelujah, Jesus is here, like, hello?
I also think he was a local, like, I think everybody that lived in Manchester knew him as like an alcoholic or like a druggie and stuff, because nobody helped him.
No.
And I think like somebody that obviously wasn't from Manchester like was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And they helped him. But we were just kind of paralysed and like, what the fuck is going on to like do anything? But somebody did phone the police, but then we saw him the next day and he almost got hit by a fucking tram because he was high again, and it's like, bro, you like almost died, but like the preachers were like purely fucking shaking him.
They had like,
they had him up and he was
they did have him propped up in one bit, oh my god.
And he was like limping around and he'd like come back to life. It's like, Jesus ain't gonna help you here. No. I think Jesus has given up on this man. Like, he ain't.
That was another very weird experience.
Yeah, I had a video of it somewhere, but I think my phone got erased.
Oh, also another one. Oh, this is a quick one though. Okay, so if you're from Fife, you know that every year except from the last 2 years, the Lynx Market comes. But you also know that the Lynx Market is both the best and worst thing in the world. And there's people dressed up as children's characters. We saw Woody from Toy Story doing crack at 2 in the afternoon on a Tuesday.
We went behind one of the trailers and we were sitting eating and he kind of like,
yeah, wow.
Also another thing, just to like finalise it. So the guy with it that we saw the other day was supposed to be it. Anyway, so the final of the finale that will have you wondering,
why do people live in Fife?
It will have you just thinking. Never come to Fife.
Never.
So we like squirrels. I'm gonna have nightmares. So we enjoy squirrels, right?
A lot. We love squirrels.
And every time we go to Dunfermline, we bring like bags of food for them, and we just sit and feed them. We were having such a good time.
We were just sitting on the path. I think, well, the park doesn't close, but it was getting kind of late, so we were just like, people were leaving. We were like giving the squirrels the last of their food.
Sitting talking to them, having the time of our lives. This guy comes up behind us.
And he's like, oh, can I have some squirrel food? I developed a taste for it. And we're like, no, it's for the squirrels. And his pal comes behind him and he's like, oh, don't worry, he got that taste while he was in prison. And we're just looking at each other like, what? And then the guy's like, yeah, I did some shit to a gerbil. Like, what did you do to the gerbil?
What did you do to the gerbil that got you in fucking prison? That's all he said, and they fucking walked off and we were just like, ah. Okay, a nice story to end it all off. Picture this, it's Glasgow, Edinburgh, I can't remember. Maybe it's Manchester, I'm not entirely sure. We, Glee fans, are in a candy shop. We're in a candy shop and we're walking about.
Morgan's on one side, I'm on the other side, backs turned to each
Don't
other.
Stop Believing comes on.
We just very slowly kind of turned to each other while the piano intro's playing.
Like both of us were on the other side of the fucking store.
It was just like a slow motion, like, oh.
Really slowly turned to each other. Okay, that's it. That's nice to end off.
We have a lot of funny stories.
Yeah. Right, so don't come to Fife.
Don't
Somebody
come to
asks
Fife.
you about gerbils, just run away, because I still do not know what he did to that gerbil. But anyway.
It's been years.
It's been years and I can't get it out of my head. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being traumatized. If the gerbil wants you, I'm sorry. That's all we have today. Thank you. And
That was fun.